from Drew.
All right, we're on the video live stream for the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning, Ken Lundberg here, my guest co-host this morning, wearing his bright pastel blue, his Easter egg shirt. He calls it.
Yep. The nice
Bret
thing is,
Witkowski. Hi, Bret.
It fits again.
Oh, nice.
There was a period of time that was not the case.
You know, I've been reading some news stories about people seeking to adjust, amend, add some commentary or some context to the BMI. Maybe you and I, we get a petition together to change the BMI.
I'm not a fan of the BMI.
Even when I was skinny, I couldn't fit within the BMI parameters.
At my height, which is 6'5",
yeah,
they say I should either weigh like 207 or 217. And the last time I weighed that much, was
when you were born,
freshman, freshman in high school. It's like people would start donating because they would think I'm sick.
You know,
there's just no way I can wait. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I wish we could find the person who came up with the BMI, bring him in here and have a talk with him.
Well, they probably weighed 400 pounds.
Something.
Yeah,
anyway,
probably didn't really matter to them.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on the WSJM Morning Show. If you missed any part of the show so far, you've missed a lot. Our 6 o'clock hour was a lot of fun. I thought so.
Okay, yeah, it was
good. we had Rummy Bret here, who was giving his political opinion on a bunch of stuff, so that was fun.
Well, I think a lot of people would agree with me.
Have you ever been to a presidential inauguration?
No, I would like to.
The first year or two I was in Washington, I'm trying to remember, I had the opportunity to go to a couple of inaugural balls. Oh, what are you doing there? Turn that off. Turn that off. Why does everyone turn on their phone with the video live stream? You want your own monitor. That's what it is.
You know what I'm amazed about is how bald I really am. You know, it doesn't look that way in the morning.
I wouldn't call you bald.
Well, what would you call it?
I'd just say you got a little bit of a chrome dome going on there.
Oh, it's a big chrome. Need a buff.
Because you got hair in the back.
Yeah.
You ever think about getting a head tattoo? You could start a new trend. Little treasure map up there.
About 15 years ago, I did look into getting those hair plugs.
Oh, man, don't do that.
No, I didn't.
Don't do that.
I didn't do that.
Nature blesses us in so many ways. And just keep it.
You got a lot more hair than me, so don't.
Yeah, that's the way. That's why I'm saying this. Here, is it straight? Hang on.
Yeah, see, I don't.
Is it straight?
Like Howard Cosell?
Oh man!
Did you ever see that video?
No. Did he straighten out his hair?
He was doing the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And everybody accused him of wearing a hairpiece,
and he always refused.
And no.
Yeah.
The wind caught it. Yeah.
Really? Did it flap it over?
Yeah, you can still see it.
I think I have seen that.
Yeah, it is.
I think I have seen that. That's
he
funny.
Had one unique voice, didn't he?
I said Howard Cosell.
That's just how he always talked.
Yeah.
I think he was out of New York.
You think that's old radio? I think that's old radio talk. That's how he thought he was supposed to talk on the radio.
You're probably right. And they just developed into his everyday talk.
Rest in peace, Bob Uecker.
I like Bob Uecker.
Yeah, he was great.
That was a man who took a below average career.
Milwaukee Brewers.
And end up being
someone famous.
He was the Milwaukee Brewers broadcaster until he just died.
Yeah, that's
90 years old.
Let me see if let's see how we doing on time. We've got
I always loved his one ad. Oh, I must be in the front row.
Yeah.
Bud Light.
Yeah. Hey, I must be in the front row. Yeah, that's good stuff.
He played with the Milwaukee Braves. I think he won a World Series with the St. Louis Cardinals as a backup catcher. And I know.
No.
The funny part was, I don't know if you ever heard of Bob Gibson. He was a Hall of Famer pitcher with the St. Louis Cardinals. In the team photos from like 67 or 68, him, Bob Uecker, and Bob Gibson are holding hands the team photos.
Oh, man. All right. Hang on. Hold that thought. We'll be back with more in just a moment. We got to get to some news here. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. Happy Friday.
Tax debt quickly and affordably. Call the Tax Relief Helpers hotline at 800-885-0622. That's 800-885-0622. Start your relief today.
WSJM News now.
Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:05. Good Friday morning to you. It's Friday, January 17th, 7:05 a.m. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning, my guest co-host is Bret Witkowski. Thank you, Bret, for joining us.
You're welcome, sir.
We'll be talking about Bob Uecker on the video live stream. We'll do some more of that chit-chat. Rest in peace, Bob Uecker. He passed away. That was announced yesterday, so we'll have more on that coming up about his career, who he was, and why we know him so well. You think it's his sports broadcasting, or you think it was the commercials and the movies he did? Just a great personality.
I think he had a great personality. I think the commercials got him going, and then Alf is what took him off.
Oh, was he in Alf?
Yeah,
was he the dad?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he wasn't the dad.
Wasn't he?
No, you looked that up.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think you're wrong on that one, but that is funny. Congress, some of the news that we're following in just a moment. First, let's get the weather forecast. Temperature outside right now, it's 29 degrees across the board. Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, South Haven, 29 degrees. And the feels like temperature, not so bad. I mean, it feels like 19 in Benton Harbor, feels like 18 over in St. Joseph, and checking South Haven feels like 19 degrees there. 28 in Dowagiac, New Buffalo, 26 degrees. I don't see any snowfall right now. We, in fact, expect partly sunny skies today, a high around 35. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, it's going to get a little messy. They're expecting slush. Yeah, cloudy skies, chance of rain-snow mix this afternoon and evening. Slushy accumulation in the forecast, up to 1 inch possible. Low around 30, southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts to 30. How do you adjust your driving when it's slush, when you got an inch of slush? I think you slow down.
Of course, drive conditions.
Because you don't want to hydroplane on top of the slush.
Right.
You ever hydroplane a car before? It's not happy.
A truck.
Oh, really?
A big truck.
Like how big? Like a tractor trailer big?
No, not like that. Like a U-Haul.
Like a rider truck or a U-Haul?
Yeah, like that.
Like a rider truck? Okay.
And it was very windy and slushy going over a bridge.
Oh, man. You had everything going against you.
That whole thing slid. That scared the bejeebus out of me.
Was it full or empty?
I think it was empty.
Okay. I mean, that's good that you didn't put in jeopardy everything that was in the back, but at the same time, you're lighter, so the wind's going to carry you and everything else. No, I hydroplaned, I think it was a Honda Accord back in must have been the late 80s, early 90s. And there was a hairpin turn. I was going on an exit ramp, hairpin turn, and it had been raining quite a bit. It was still raining. And, being the kid I was, didn't know the whole mechanics of physics.
Like slow down?
It looked like a shark took a bite out of the back of the vehicle.
Oh, really?
Because I slammed into the guardrail. The car was still drivable.
And you still drove it.
And I still drove it. But then I found out it had been wrecked by somebody else in that same exact spot because it looked like a shark bit it because it was all Bondo.
Oh.
It just gone. All right. That is not part of the weather forecast for today, but we do expect some slush and maybe up to an inch possible this evening, so be careful of that. Saturday's forecast, mostly cloudy, a chance of snow showers, high around 32, falling into the 20s in the afternoon, so it's going to get colder as the day progresses. Northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sunday, cold, high around 15. Monday, cold, high around 5. Same for Tuesday. And in fact, Tuesday and Wednesday, the low forecast for Tuesday and Wednesday in our area, -3.
That's what I would call cold.
That's going to be cold. Yeah, some of the news that we're following in the WSJM newsroom this morning, Congressman Bill Huizenga has introduced legislation to reauthorize the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, seeking to increase the program, the funding by $25 million from $475 million to $500 million starting next year. Huizenga tells us the initiative is set to expire in 2026, and the legislation would extend it another 5 years. He says since the initiative was started back in 2010, it has helped to clean up pollution, keep invasive species out of the lakes, maintain drinking water quality, and more. As a co-chair of the House Great Lakes Task Force, Huizenga says he supported the initiative since its inception.
Really what we do is we look at both the ecology and the economy of the Great Lakes, and whether it is in invasive species, whether it's regarding PFAS, whether it's regarding habitat restoration, that is really an acknowledgement that we need to have a healthy Great Lakes, both, again, on the ecology side, but also on the economic side.
Huizinga says there's been talk of scaling back the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative at multiple points in the past, both during the Obama and Trump administrations, but it's always been preserved once supporters demonstrate the value. Huizinga recalls speaking to former President Donald Trump about the initiative during the first term of his presidency, convincing him to save the program. With talk of massive federal spending cuts with the new administration, Huizinga says supporters of the initiative will just have to once again show that it's worth the investment. Other news, the Berrien County Parks Department is marking what they call another successful year for its community recycling program. Environmental property manager Jason Field tells us they hosted 5 recycling events last year, giving Berrien County residents a chance to drop off all kinds of recyclable items for free, so they didn't wind up in the normal waste stream. Field says 1,985 people came out for the events last year. The events collected more than 87,000 pounds of household hazardous waste. Another big category of materials that were recycled, electronics.
In 2024, we collected, just under 43,000 pounds of that. Styrofoam, foam, polystyrene, that's another huge item that we've been accepting. When you think about how light it is, it's kind of amazing that we're collecting, 4,000, 4,500 pounds of that each year.
But he said on the electronics, 43,000 pounds. 43,000 pounds of electronics.
A lot of old computers.
Man.
Xboxes, PlayStations.
I think it's the old TRS 80s. Are they still using those? Probably at the county. I think they're still using those at the county because I keep getting spam messages every time I try to email somebody there.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They got a new system at the county, and I guess the security guys have free reign on tightening down who gets in and who gets out. And so I started an email chain recently, and then all of a sudden one of my emails got kicked back as spam. Even after I'd already established the conversation and they had replied. Anyway,
back, like what you said.
Back to the
Big Brother.
back to the news story that we're talking about. Jason Field says the events accepted 20, in addition to the electronics and the styrofoam and everything else, they also accepted 2,500 tires. He says people who come out to that is a lot of tires. He says people who come out to the recycling events appreciate the opportunity.
They're the nicest bunch of people. They're so thankful and so appreciative that we're able to provide something like this.
Field says the events are made possible thanks to the efforts of park staff and more than 300 volunteers throughout the year. He says the county also maintains recycling drop-off stations at the county's 2 landfills that residents can use year-round. The Parks Department is already working on the schedule for this year's recycling events. He says it'll be similar to last year's with 5 events in different locations around the county. And finally, despite the chill of winter, especially that's coming early next week, area fruit crops are managing to withstand the cold temperatures with minimal impact, at least so far. MSU Extension viticulture specialist Mike Reinke tells us it's been close to a good average winter overall for crops.
Most of our grapes and peaches should be safe down to, we're going to call it somewhere around -5 to -10 degrees Fahrenheit before we would even start to see damage, and probably colder than that before we would see significant damage.
Now, Reinke says anything below the double digits below 0 is when crops like peaches and grapes and the like will be affected. So far, things are looking good for a really good crop season, knock on wood, as long as there are no last-minute frosts in late April and early May. As far as vegetable crops go, MSU Extension's Ben Phillips says they're also looking good with a fairly stable low temperatures and snow cover. And next week's temperatures, they're not going to have that big impact. The trees, they're ready for it. The grapevines, they're okay.
Yeah.
They'll just get tougher.
I think what makes it worse is if you get that really warm spell.
The roller coaster. Yeah, the roller coaster is what hurts it.
Yeah.
The freeze thaw. All right, we've got more news to talk about coming up. It is the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. We've got sports coming up next, and we'll get you up to date on the weather forecast and a whole lot more. What are we talking about here? Oh, we'll talk about Bob Uecker.
Yeah, I like Bob Uecker.
Let's start that on the video live stream now on WSJM.
Dawson Garcia's 40-foot shot on the court.
Okay, correct yourself. Bob Uecker. Was he an Alf?
No, he was in Mr. Belvedere.
Mr. Belvedere.
6 seasons.
Was he in 6 seasons of that show?
Well, that's how long the show went.
That show went 6 seasons?
Yeah,
I do like Mr. Belvedere.
A surprise.
Yeah, Mr. Belvedere, that was a good one. That was the one where basically the butler took care of the family.
Correct.
He held the family together.
Yeah.
If we all had butlers, we could all be okay.
We should have them all. You know,
you don't have one?
Not yet.
Okay.
Show I really like is one is Blue Bloods, which that was a great show.
Okay.
And then,
I'll take your word for it. I've never seen it.
Oh, I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
But you got to start season 1, which we do.
Okay.
Did. And you ever seen Whose Lines Anyway?
Is that the one with Drew Carey?
Yeah, he started it here in America. It's actually a British show that came over.
Why those Brits? They're so creative.
Yeah, we've been watching the British versions lately.
Okay. I have not seen that.
But it's on CW Network, which we don't get.
Some of those networks I just can't watch. There's just too many commercials.
Well, there are a lot of commercials.
Especially these days when I have the opportunity to watch on streaming. I really don't want to watch the commercial television anymore.
No.
And if I do have something on commercial television that I want to watch, I record it and I fast forward through the commercials when I play back. Like Jeopardy. Stephanie and I, we are bound and determined to catch up on Jeopardy. We're in October. We just started October.
I like Jeopardy.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You get
I tried to get on it. I did not.
Did you really?
Well, you can go and do that test online.
So you you did the test?
And it said come back in a year.
You're only allowed to take it once a year?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow. What kind of questions do you remember?
No, but obviously not good enough.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
They weren't sport questions, I'll tell you that. I love the
we should do that. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, you can do it. You sign up for it. I do like it when they have sports questions and they'll show them like on Instagram, and since everybody's got blank stares because that group does not know sports.
Oh yeah. No, that hurts. Every time the sports category comes up, I kind of go,
I love it.
I'm not winning this round.
I wish that, well, I've done like sports trivia, like if you've gone to Olive Garden and stuff, they'll have it on, you can do a game for $2 on the.
Well, you have to pay for it?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I thought the bread was free.
Oh, I like the bread.
It is good.
They lose on me on the bread.
Oh boy. Let's see here. Oh, look at this. Your contestant journey starts with a Jeopardy anytime test. You could be our next champion.
Yeah, we should do that on there.
Set aside at least 15 minutes to complete the test. You will have 15 seconds to answer each of 50 different. Wow, we should do that on the air.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be fun.
And then if you don't get enough, they'll say, see you in a year or 6 months.
We'll have to set up 6 different accounts so we can go through it. All right, let's get back to the show.
Temperatures dropping back into the 20s by tomorrow afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
And good morning. It's the WSJM Morning Show with Ken and Friends. My friend in the studio this morning is Bret Witkowski. Hello, Bret.
Hey, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Did your buddies get back from the space station yet?
No, I think they're still up there.
Okay.
They're still up there. In fact, I
thought it was supposed to be February.
Well, we're in January currently.
Yeah, I just wondering. No, I know that. I just was commenting. I thought.
Yeah, I think it's in February. I think they're going to get back in February. Maybe it'll be March because I do remember there was some part of it. I don't know. We'll check because there's going to be a new NASA administrator soon.
Good.
I'm just seeing on the monitor up there
that rocket blew up.
Yeah, SpaceX. It was a bittersweet launch for SpaceX. I think they launched over Australia or something like that, and basically, they had the 2-stage rocket go up, and SpaceX, the rocket that is the first booster, the one with all the fuel, the candlestick that gets them off the platform and into space and all that. That thing came back down and did a controlled landing, and what they call the chopstick grabbers got them.
Crazy.
Yeah, and they were able to bring it back in, so the reusable part of that was just fine. But then the space rocket part of it, the stuff with the payload in it and everything else, yeah, blew up. And so people were hoping that there wasn't a debris field over land, but I think they had to issue some warnings. But That happened down on the other side of the planet. But it was a spectacular light show. You see the video of it. Go on YouTube. And speaking of video, we are on the video live stream here for the WSJM Morning Show. You can always catch it from 7 to 8 o'clock every weekday, uninterrupted, unfiltered. We talk about other stuff. When you hear commercials here on the radio, we talk about other stuff. In fact, we talk about each other. Yeah,
sure.
I talk about your shirt.
I love my shirt. I'm just happy I can get back into it.
You know, I wonder if I wear polarized sunglasses, that'll tone that down a little
Probably
bit.
Not. You cannot take this away.
Bob Uecker, legendary baseball broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers and former player, has died. They announced that yesterday. He was 90 years old. That's a good long life.
And he's one I think enjoyed it.
Yeah, he called games for the Brewers. He better have enjoyed it. He called games for the Brewers since 1971.
Yep.
Imagine 1971. Starting your career.
And they had just moved to Milwaukee.
Oh,
the year before, year before. I think the Brewers were the Seattle Pilots, I believe, in 1969, and then moved to Milwaukee after they filed for bankruptcy. Bud Selig, who was a auto dealer, bought them out of bankruptcy and moved them to Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
Leading up to that, the White Sox were playing, I don't know, 4 or 5.
We're talking
games.
about Bob Uecker here.
Yeah, I'm just giving you the sports history that means nothing. I tell you, when it comes to sports, I got like an elephant memory.
Bob Uecker appeared in the 1989 movie Major League.
Outside.
And the film's 2 sequels. Yeah, I really grew to love his broadcast style during those movies. It's funny. He was born and raised in Milwaukee. Bob Uecker enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1954. He played baseball while he was at Fort Leonard Wood and Fort Belvoir. Uecker joined the Milwaukee Braves organization in 1956 and was in the minors until he got called up in 1962.
He was a career 200 hitter, I believe.
Well, a little better than that. He played 33 games in his rookie season and hit 250 with 2 doubles and a home run.
His career or that season?
That's what it says here. I don't know. That's in his rookie season, 250. Oh, you say in his whole career he was a 200 hitter?
Yeah.
Okay. He also played for the St. Louis Cardinals, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Atlanta Braves before his professional baseball career took a tank in 1967. He was on the Cardinals' 1964 World Series winning team, so he had a ring.
He did.
How cool is that?
Hey, a ring's a ring.
He was a broadcaster in Atlanta before doing broadcasts for the Brewers. He called for 54 seasons before his death. He also served as a broadcaster for ABC and NBC during World Series and League Championships games. He called the Brewers' 1982 World Series loss to the Cardinals for a local Milwaukee station. What else?
AM 620.
Yeah, they're very good. Okay. Brought joy to countless listeners through his wit, charisma, and love for baseball. Milwaukee, all of Wisconsin, probably cheese as well, creating a legacy that will forever be cherished. That's what his family said. While his contributions to the game are noteworthy, it's his kindness, humility, and love for family and friends that will hold closest. We will hold closest to our hearts. So Bob Uecker at the age of 90. Yeah. And as you point out, he was the father figure on Mr. Belvedere.
Yep. I mean, the guy, you know, he would be on Johnny Carson too. And he made fun of himself.
He did. And
he was able to tell stories.
Yeah.
And people that can tell stories and make you laugh are great. My father-in-law was great at telling stories.
Yeah.
You would never quite know till the end if it was real or not.
Oh, because of the dry humor.
Yeah.
The dry.
Really,
yeah.
Yeah. His Hall of Fame speech when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame, people should look at that. It is hilarious.
I looked up, when I heard of the news yesterday, I looked up some Bob Uecker quotes.
Oh, yeah.
Some Bob Uecker quotes. Let's see. One of them, I used to soak my mitts in a bucket of water for about 2 days. Then I'd put a couple of baseballs in the pocket and wrap it up with a rubber band. Today, you don't have to do that because the catcher's mitts are more like first baseman's gloves. So he had some stuff like that. Let's see. You throw batting practice. You warm up pitchers. You sit and cheer. You do whatever you have to do to stay on top of the team. Oh, here's one. I like this one. I spent 3 of my best years. I spent 3 of the best years of my life in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Oh, apparently they had Bob Uecker Day.
Oh, they had it almost every year at Milwaukee.
No. He says, I didn't get a lot of awards as a player, but they did have a Bob Uecker day off for me in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he went from there, I think, to St. Louis. I think he finished with the Atlanta Braves.
I think my top salary was maybe in 1966. I made $17,000, and 11 of that came from selling other players' equipment. Bob Uecker. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Bob Uecker.
Just a good guy.
Yeah. Rest in peace. What other news do you want to talk about? You want to talk about TikTok? You want to talk about the pardons from President Biden? Let's talk about the pardons.
Sure.
I thought that was interesting. This one,
a record.
Yeah, this one came across overnight. President Joe Biden has now issued more individual pardons and commutations of sentences than any other president in history after announcing early today that he was pardoning another 2,500 folks, these being nonviolent drug offenders. Biden said in the announcement, which came just 3 days before his term ends, he's commuting the sentences of nearly 2,500 people convicted of non-violent drug offenses and serving disproportionately long sentences compared to the sentences they would receive today under current law, policy, and practice. He did not provide additional detail as to the exact number of people who would be affected by the clemency action, any of the timelines involved, etc. Let's see, in the 1980s, Biden supported several bills that increased penalties for drug users, including one that essentially lengthened sentences for crack cocaine users, predominantly African Americans, as compared to those convicted of using powder cocaine who were predominantly white. So what they're pointing out here is that Biden commuted sentences that he may have been responsible for.
Yeah, I mean, he was there for 50 years, so I'm sure that would happen. Yeah. People need to remember a lot of those laws were put in place because of all the crime and all the other things that were going on in inner cities, which now are coming back, which then drives people out of the cities, which leaves it even worse. So, people have to watch what you want or get for.
Yeah.
California is an example, I believe, of what not to do, decriminalizing all those type of things. Did you go when you were out in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Did you see the areas that are like?
In fact,
scary?
Yes. Yeah, you saw on social media this week, and we talked about that a little bit. The Tenderloin District in San Francisco. If you go into the Tenderloin District in San Francisco, you want to get out of there. You want to find the quickest way out of there because it's ridden with a lot of homeless population. There's a lot of drug use. There's a lot of criminal activity that's happening there. Our taxi took us right through the Tenderloin District at 9:00 at night when we first arrived. That was our first experience in San Francisco, was going through the Tenderloin District. And there were literally people at 9:00 at night, just crowds of people just standing around.
Oh, they're just waking up.
Standing around doing drugs openly on the street.
Any businesses still there?
Yeah, there was a liquor store that people were crowded around.
Yeah.
There was. I looked at some of the storefronts in the like there was an apartment building there, and I remembered the name so I could look it up once we got into our hotel room safely to say, okay, give me the story on that place. And it was like the people had been talking about it. This place is downhill. Never stay here. Don't do this. Don't do that. You see it on a map and it's boarded up and it's just.
What was it 5-10 years ago? Probably thriving.
Could have been.
And see,
but you're right downtown. So there's a place called Union Square downtown, which is where the center of the Christmas activities were. And that's where the community Christmas tree was. They had shows going on during the day. We saw, from Chinatown, they had a dragon dancers going on. Amazing. Macy's is right there. The Louis Vuitton and Coco Chanel and all that stuff. They're all right there. 2.5 blocks away is the Tenderloin District. They had a lot of police presence and that kind of stuff.
And that's what drug use gets. I mean, a friend of mine worked in a courthouse, and they said 75% of all cases are some sort of drugs involved.
Yeah.
You're either high, selling, buying, whatever.
There's a lot that goes into it, and I think there's a huge mental health component that you have to care for that's not being cared for right now.
Yeah, I would agree. And a lot of those people would be institutionalized, which is probably where some of them need to be.
Right. Get help, get medication.
Yep. And I think the other part is, addiction is a real deal.
Yep.
And, how do you get out of that? And, government has proven for the last 50 to 100 years, they cannot fix that problem.
Yeah.
It has to be, I think, church organizations, places like that will have the most impact in changing lives. But going back to Biden and what the country did in the 80s and 90s,
right?
You remember when Giuliani became mayor of New York?
Well, and that's the thing is that in New York, I do remember being in New York City in the early 2000s, and it was a work trip, and there were a group of us. But at night, you were able to walk the streets.
Correct.
You could walk the streets. You could go to a diner or whatever, and you felt safe because you knew the city had been cleaned up. I would not do that same thing today. No. Especially with what you see on the subways. And you can see they're starting to crack down. They've had, the National Guard in the subways.
How sick was it when that guy lit the lady on fire?
Yeah, crazy.
I mean, people say there's no
out of
devil.
Control.
That's it.
Yeah.
But when Giuliani became mayor of New York, it was crime-infested, Times Square and all that was horrible. And I read a book on him or a story. He would drive the streets at night. With either a police officer or somebody, and would call in nonstop. Come, this guy get cleaned up.
Yeah,
and it did get cleaned up.
Yeah, so there are solutions out there, and government can help, but you gotta,
Well, the rules are for about 2% of the population.
That's true,
and you can't let 2% ruin it for 98.
Yeah,
and that's what's happening.
That's what I say about speed limits every single time. All right, let's hang on. Let's put a pin in that one. Don't even start. 7:31. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg here with Bret Witkowski. We've got a lot more to talk about. We'll get our latest ABC news. We've got the Bloomberg Market Minute. It's all coming up next right here.
What would you call a free?
Man, when you get started on Chicago, I can't stop you.
No, that's its own topic.
I enjoy Chicago. I enjoy going there. If I were to only read the crime reports that you see every day, I would never go there.
The question is, would you move there? and I'm not asking.
It's a calculated risk. It's a calculated risk.
That's when the challenge happens.
Yeah.
If people question if they'd be safe or if the taxes are too darn high, then you start losing quality people in cities.
Yeah. Let's say good morning.
Good morning
to our folks on the video live stream, because we haven't said good morning yet, and I apologize for that.
Pick it up.
All right, I know. Hang on.
We only got 28 minutes.
All right. Oh, that's right, because you're going to leave early. All right. So
I'm not leaving early.
Oh, you're okay.
I gotta go. I still work.
I know.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Teresa says, good morning, Ken and Bret. How are you guys doing this morning? We're doing great.
I'm doing good.
And
a little fired up.
Yeah, he's fired up. And what do you got in the cup there?
That was just a cherry Coke.
A 32-ounce cherry Coke for Bret this morning.
And I brought $1.95.
I saw
to the
social
store.
media, because I watch food things on social media.
Do you really?
Food things. Yeah, how to make food and different dishes and stuff like that. And for some reason, my algorithm has now started picking up street food in India.
What the?
Street food in India. And I can't stop watching because it just makes me think, oh my God, I will never eat street food in India.
Or go there.
Because of the way their preparation methods. They don't wear gloves. They're just, I'll show you some stuff. But there's one video I watched, and speaking of cherry Coke, it was like a strawberry Coke or cherry Coke. It was just red and it was fizzy. And the guy used it as the base of scrambled eggs. And the scrambled eggs came out pink. It was the weirdest thing ever. And it's like, can you imagine the taste of that? Not only are your scrambled eggs pink, but now you've got that sugary, syrupy.
I limit myself really to 1 or 2 pops a week. That's it. That's all.
You should stop it altogether. Stop it.
Well, today
just drink water.
I drink a lot of water
with lemon in it, fresh lemon.
No, like that. And I got my orange juice in my vehicle.
So Teresa says good morning. Bill says good morning. Good morning, Bill. Good to see you. Let's see who else.
Where's he racing at?
I don't know. Is there an off season? Let's see.
Well,
Teresa says only 164 more days till spring. LOL. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Race season is starting next week. 3 people from here are down in Florida already. Hey, that's fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a circuit, isn't it?
Let's see. Daniel Nickel Robard says, good morning. Good morning. Here, we got to get back on the radio here. Just a sec.
U.S. sanctions pose growing risks to global supply in a market already constrained by cold weather. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Just taking a look at some of the video comments that we have on our live stream on YouTube and Facebook. Teresa says she likes Blue Bloods. She also likes the 911 stuff. Is 911 like they have a Reno 911 and a Chicago 9? Reno 9, you ever watch that one? I love that one.
Of it.
I love that one. It's probably not the same one, though. Let's see what else. We've got some food comments on there. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. Okay. Space station stuff. Diane says, good morning. Good morning, Diane. John says, top of the morning. Good morning, and top of the morning to you.
Oh, is he a little British, huh?
Top of the morning to you, John. Irish. Let's see.
Sorry.
Yeah, Teresa says she also likes Chicago, but she won't move there.
Yep. That's my point.
Yeah, it's nice to have it nearby.
Oh,
just not too close.
Right.
No, I mean, I do appreciate Chicago. It has, obviously a town with great history.
Exactly.
Stockyards and all that.
Yeah.
But
the museums.
Yeah, the museums
Michigan
are beautiful.
Avenue at
beautiful.
Christmas.
In fact, my museum membership, I bought it last year for Stephanie for Christmas, has run out.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, so I may have to re-up. We'll see.
I think I've been to every one there at least a few times.
We went to the main museum there, and we chose the exact time to arrive when the school kids were arriving.
Oh, the buses.
We had to fight with the buses.
I like Navy Pier. Is cool.
Yeah, Navy Pier is cool. Navy Pier is cool. We walked out to the end of that and back. Did I tell you about my foot yet? We'll talk about my foot.
Is this a long story?
Yeah. Very good. Touche. I'll tell you about that in a couple of minutes right here on the W. I had to go to the foot doctor this week.
Uh-oh.
I had to go to the foot doctor. And not
Too
only
much ball again, huh?
Not only did I have to go to the foot doctor, but when I got there, because I was convinced, because I read the internet, right? And I knew,
and it's true.
And I knew what I, diagnosed myself, me being a non-doctor. I was a web doctor. I'm a web MD.
I think we've all done that.
I thought that I had a stress fracture in my metatarsal, the bone that leads to your big toe. And so I guess we're going to tell the story now.
Arthritis?
Well, hang on a sec. Don't spoil the story.
Well, I don't know the story. I'm just guessing.
And so I thought I had a stress fracture. Yeah, it was arthritis, but hang on. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that in a minute. But I thought I had a stress fracture, and because Stephanie and I got back from San Francisco, and like the day I got back, or the day after I got back, my foot started hurting, and then it swelled up, and then it was just painful, and couldn't do anything, and even sleeping. And so started putting ice on it, started taking ibuprofen, all that kind of stuff, and finally got it back under control. And I thought, oh man, so what do you do for a stress fracture? What do you do? So I was searching the internet for that stuff. So I was doing all this stuff. Fortunately, all the stuff I was doing for the stress fracture also applied to the arthritis thing. But I finally broke down and went to the doctor just so I could be sure of, all right, am I doing this right? Is it what I'm thinking? Is it something else? Did I get hit by a spider or something? Like, what? Quit checking your watch. And
well, I asked if it was a long story.
And
I'm just joking.
So I get to the foot doctor, and they whatever. So I get to the foot doctor. I'm in the waiting room, and they say, okay, well, let's x-ray it just to make sure that, to see if it's arthritis or, foot stress fracture or whatever. So I'm hobbling. I've got one shoe on. I've got one bare foot. I'm hobbling down the hallway there. And who do I run into? 3 people from Midwest Family from the station. Yeah. I run into Pat Moody, Lorraine Day, and TK. And Lorraine and TK are there with Pat. They're doing a presentation for the group of doctors there. And they'll say, hey, Ken, what are you doing here? So we're all of a sudden at the same place.
So we're going to have a new sponsor?
Well, I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
Which one do you go to?
But I will tell you, well, if they sign the thing, then I'll tell you.
Fair enough.
But they did find out it wasn't a stress fracture, which is good news, bad news. It's arthritis in my big toe there. Like down back behind it there,
so
in the
does
joint.
It show up like white
They didn't let me read the X-rays. I was like, hey, can I see the X-ray? Can I see the X-ray? They're like, go see the doctor. And it's like, so anyway, but I think it does show up as a little bit of a mass there, or there's evidence that the bone is on bone. That's the deal.
Okay.
And so the doc said, this didn't happen overnight. This didn't happen within the last 6 months. This happened pretty much over your lifetime. Your biomechanics are wrong. For what basically some people, your toes are more flexible. Other people like you, your toe doesn't want to flex, but you make it flex because you do stuff. And so now you got to deal with that.
I don't have any of it, so thankfully.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
You
would think I would. I got knee rebuilt from when I was
well, if you have rebuilt stuff, then it doesn't matter.
No, I mean, not a fake knee.
Oh, okay.
It was rebuilt with what it's got.
We should probably do news. Let's get to news, and we'll come back. We'll talk about more of this on the video live stream. How about that? We'll be back in just a moment.
With this thing?
We'll be back in just a moment right here on WSJM.
ABC.
Yeah, arthritis.
Yeah.
First, he looked at me and he said, how old are you? I don't know why you have arthritis. You must have injured your toe.
Yeah, because you are kind of young to have it.
Well, I try. But I do remember there was this one time I was in a hotel room, and it was in the middle of the night, and it was dark, and I was going to the restroom, whatever, and full force with my foot right into something. I think it was the bed frame or something like that. I remember that hurting, so maybe that did it.
Yeah, that killed somebody.
And then I ran on it the next day.
Oh, you're in a race?
No, I was just running.
You run now?
No, I can't run.
Oh,
you can't run now.
You can play basketball then with us.
You're looking for people with deficiencies.
People that can walk.
Yeah, people who have to walk. No, I asked him. I said, Doc, can I? The goal here is to get back into my running. And he said, well, you could try. He said, you might also consider bicycling. That might be more for you now.
Yeah.
So now, anyway, I've got to figure out shoes. I got to figure out, he said surgery is an option, but he wouldn't recommend it. I mean, honestly, he said on a scale of 1 to 10, you're about a 1 or 2.
Yeah. Suck it up.
Yeah. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's what he said.
If I got a bike, I'm getting an electric bike.
Oh, what's the point then? Then you're just on a slow motorcycle.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I see them a lot in town.
Yeah, they are electric bikes.
I mean,
you know who started that trend?
Elon Musk.
Lance Armstrong.
Electric bikes?
No. It was in the Tour de France, and that circuit.
Yeah, right.
Where some of the bicyclists, believe it or not, probably from foreign countries, put little, I don't know what they were, devices in their bikes that helped with their momentum a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. It would just I don't know, look it up, but there were electric devices found in bicycles on that circuit that were not approved and that were deemed cheating.
Just like
welded in the frame, somewhere. Yeah.
Just like when Lance Armstrong doped his way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's a cancer survivor.
All
that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They end up stripping him of all those years.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
And he always denied it, and they're like, no, you're cheating.
And then he admitted it.
Finally.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it
After
was
it was
his
all
heart
done.
rate was so slow, they said.
What do you mean?
Well, it made him more efficient, I think, with the oxygen use and all that stamina. But I remember reading about that at one point. But, I mean, that went on for, a decade?
Yeah. Livestrong's still out there as an organization. So they've continued to try to come back.
I think he was married to Sheryl Crow, wasn't he?
Is that right? Oh. I think I met Sheryl Crow.
No way.
Yeah. And James Taylor. It was a press conference on Capitol Hill. They were trying to secure money for young people in music education, that kind of thing. Yeah, Sheryl Crow and James Taylor were there. Yeah, that was a fun one. There was another time when I met Michelle Pfeiffer. That was fun.
Really? Catwoman?
Yeah. And it was right after that era. Yeah.
Oh, so she was a lot younger at that point.
Well, come on now.
Well, that's just
be
reality.
nice. Don't be ageist.
Hey, I'm up there. It was a lot better when I was younger too. Had more hair.
Oh boy. I can't imagine you with hair.
Oh, I got a picture I'll send to you.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to send it to me. You can just show it to me.
Yeah.
I got to watch my space on my devices.
Well, just because of that, I'll send it to you.
What do you have going on the rest of the day?
Going work, kind of a slow day, a lot of meetings next week. And then finish some stuff up for the tournament, go to practice. They've got Winterfest at Bangor, so I'll stay around. One of our girls is up for Winterfest Queen.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, one of our seniors.
Remind me before the hour is up. Let's, in fact, maybe we'll make it the Moody on the Market update, the tournament. So get the details. Okay. No stories.
No, I got you the details.
Just the details. Okay.
Yeah. I've done it so long, so I'll memorize.
But no sidetracking.
Well, that might be our problem.
No sidetracking.
I will do. Okay, I'll keep it short to the point.
All right.
Have Sean come on over.
I should. Why don't you text him? Text him and say, "Hey, Ken thinks you do whatever you want. Just say, hey, Ken thinks it's a good idea if you cover this weekend.
Yeah,
if you're around,
I'll be there after coach's show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and so the coach's show is every Saturday morning from 8 to 10. Phil McDonald, Bret Witkowski, they take over the airwaves here, and now you're doing it from just next door practically.
That was actually a really cool place.
Signature Toyota.
Yeah, Bill Crowder was right there, and Bill remembers everything. He goes, and you bought 3 cars from us in 1 year, which we did. Well, Amy and I did. That was our second most expensive year ever.
Wow, 3 cars in 1 year.
Yeah,
that's
one
a lot.
On fire.
Oh dear.
One blew a motor.
Why did a car catch on fire?
Electrical. And get a load of this. I had just taken out full coverage the week before.
Oh,
so
man.
It was a total loss.
Yikes.
Yeah, we went to my in-laws to mow the yard. Saw a little smoke coming out, and I thought, well, I just had an oil change. It might just be a little bit of
oil burning off.
So I told Emily, who was with me, our youngest, I'm like, well, I'm just going to open up the hood and start mowing Grandma's yard. Yeah. So I started mowing, and Emily's like, Dad. I looked back there, flames shooting out.
And
of course, we had a hose that went 12 feet.
Don't put a hose on an electrical fire. That's not good.
So that car was a total lot. Yeah, we lost 3
cars.
Did
you say you just put insurance on it or just took it off?
I just taken off full coverage.
Took an off, so you
I went to limited.
Oh.
So I called my insurance guy, great guy, and goes, you're not going to like this.
Oh, boy.
And it was my choice. I mean, it was an older car. I loved it. It was an Oldsmobile Aurora. Man, that thing was great.
You have interesting taste in cars.
Yeah. Well, for me, I buy whatever is cheap.
I don't understand that.
That's just
I just got my car back. It had an issue.
The tires on it yet?
No, but I'm close. I'm very close to the tire thing.
It's about a 9-month thing with you.
Well, and look at that. I've saved money for 9 months now. Yeah. Although one of the tires has given me an issue. But anyway, I'm close to getting the tires. But I got the thing out of the shop yesterday. And I'm hoping everything is fixed. They messed with the lights, and so this morning
I like that. That's like a pet peeve with me.
I know.
That in the seat.
Yeah. Hang on 1 second. Be right back.
Vinyl Design, Kitchen and Bath in St. Joe.
Hi, it's Ken Lundberg with the WSJM Morning Show, talking to you for just a moment about your hearing health. Most people hear professional hearing services, and they think about hearing devices. Well, there's a place in St. Joseph called Dr. Caseworm's Professional Hearing Services, and yes, they carry hearing devices, and they have the professional staff to support those devices. Studies show that the average person goes about 7 years after they first start noticing hearing loss before seeking professional treatment. Did you hear that, Bret? 7 years.
A lot.
They go 7 years. That's ridiculous. Don't compromise the quality of your relationships, your career, and your life. You don't have to miss the clear sounds of life. Make the choice today to go to Dr. Caseworm's Professional Hearing Services. They carry quality, state-of-the-art medical devices. They have the trained medical professionals to support you during your transition to a device. When people suffer hearing loss, did you know this? It's just certain frequencies oftentimes. They can tune your hearing device to compensate for the lost frequencies and help you reclaim a clear hearing experience that you might be missing. In other words, why mess with the good frequencies when you can just fix the bad ones and get a good experience? Don't leave your hearing health care to an over-the-counter device. Call for a free hearing screening today. Professional Hearing Services in St. Joseph. Professional Hearing Services in St. Joseph.
I've just been feeling so sluggish lately. You should try the
They are nice people there at Professional Hearing Services. I went there, I got the hearing test, and the thing I love about it is my hearing was excellent.
Good.
So I can tell my kids, stop mumbling with confidence.
I can remember, I just remember I was on my dad. We were all sitting in there when he was still alive. And, and I'm like, so we're talking, and I said, you don't hear anything. He goes, I hear you guys just fine.
I hear you just fine. Just I don't want to say anything. I don't want to talk to you. Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, let's get back to the show. We'll do the Moody on the Market update right now. All right, we'll be right back.
Make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
We'll see a mix of the sun and clouds today. Afternoon high temperatures mild and near 35 degrees. Tonight we'll see rain showers and then eventually rain and snow showers mixture overnight and into early tomorrow morning with some light accumulation. Some light lake effect snow tomorrow. Temperatures dropping back into the 20s by tomorrow afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Easing into Friday. It's 7:51, 9 minutes before 8 o'clock. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning is Bret Witkowski. Good morning again, Bret.
Good morning, sir.
Happy Friday to you. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
28 degrees in Benton Harbor, 29 degrees in St. Joseph, 29 degrees in South Haven. Tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day in the morning, a great day for a basketball tournament. So let's talk about that. It's part of our Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And one of the reasons why we give these Moody on the Market updates is to keep people up to date on business updates. We also do it for interesting people you should know and for life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here. And one of the things about that, life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here, is the basketball tournament tomorrow. So, Bret, tell us all about what's happening tomorrow at St. Joseph High School.
So 18th annual Lions Club Middle School basketball tournament, which is a big deal. 16 teams come in, 24 games. Everybody gets 3 games. We have grades from grades 6 to 8. All the officials from our registered officials, the doors will open at 8. Games start at 9. Last game's at 4. All the money goes to charity, which is called Camp Leo. St. Joe Facilities donates. The referees donate about 80% of their funds. Some don't even charge. And it's a great way for kids. We'll have over about 160, 200 players coming in there.
Wow.
And it's just nice to see kids from big schools, small schools interacting, which they normally don't do. And if you want to come make a donation, even at the gate and leave, that'd be great. Because again, 100% of the money, 100%, nothing goes to anything but Camp Leo. And at some point, we need to connect you with them and have them on.
Yeah, I would love to have them on. Did you line up some Mama Graziano cookies?
I got a very disappointing text yesterday.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Mama Graz's son said it can't happen this weekend.
Okay.
So
all right. That's
kind
okay.
of put me in the sour mood the rest of the day.
Because you were thinking,
I thought,
cookies.
Cookie season.
Well, you still have pizza going for the volunteers.
Hot dog. Sheriff Chuck Height does a great job running that concession stand. And the beauty thing is you'll come there and you'll see 30 to 40, 50 Lion Club members working nonstop. I mean, they donate their day. And
that's
from sweeping the floors to PA, running the clock, score sheets.
Yeah. Who's doing the PA? Public announcing.
A gentleman, Ron Griesinger.
Is he good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
all right.
Done it for years. Probably a 40-year member.
Okay.
Has a servant's heart. Does a great job.
Very nice.
And and what's cool is we've done it so long. We have such a great reputation with the officials, with other schools, that we never had really a hard time filling it up.
Okay.
The only time we've ever had was right after COVID.
Okay.
And like everything else, it took a few years to come back.
All the money from this, all proceeds 100%?
100%.
Going to Camp Leo. That's an overnight summer camp experience for children ages 10 to 17 and young adults with developmental disabilities who live in Berrien, Cass, Van Buren, St. Joseph, or Kalamazoo counties. The camp's presented by and receives funding from Lions Club of Southwest Michigan through events like this, Wolf Financial Advisory of St. Joseph, in partnership with Berrien RESA.
So none of the families are charged.
That's great.
And I think, it helps the families. They get a little bit of a break, too.
And for the kids who are playing basketball in this is a special experience for them because they get to do something they don't normally do.
Well, not that. Yeah, usually they'll play 12 games a year, and they get to go 3 in one day. Plus, we'll have what is really cool if you want to see something, NBA mimic 3-point contest.
So 3-point contest is going to be held. It's only $5 admission at the door. It's going to be at the St. Joseph High School.
Yep.
What else do they need to know? Doors open at 8, 9 o'clock is when it starts. When does it conclude, you think?
Last game will get done right at 5, and then we'll present the awards and stuff.
Why didn't you tell me my hair was out of place?
Because I don't have hair, and I don't like people
go.
have hair.
Hey, but I've got 1 or 2 gray spots here. Yeah,
I got a lot of gray, but I use that shampoo that changes it.
Well, thank you. Do you really?
Yeah.
You do not.
I do.
Do you?
Yeah, I use it 2-3 days a week.
Huh.
I don't want to be totally gray. I got some gray. And if I don't use it for 3 or 4 weeks, it'll come back fast.
Okay.
Because,
right.
I mean, look how short my hair is.
Yeah.
I get a number 2 haircut.
It's not that long.
No. That's called a comb over on me.
That's the Moody on the Market update, the basketball part of that. Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll be back with more news in just a moment from ABC and our WSJM newsroom.
Rich Brand and Tara Halsey from Insurance Management Service, your local.
Yeah, just keep it natural.
No.
You know, you saw this week they're getting rid of red dye number 3.
I heard you talking about that.
Yeah.
And you said it was like finally
30 years after discovering that it's connected to making, giving people cancer.
Oh.
Well, it gives the lab rats cancer, but I think what the FDA was hanging their hat on, or at least the food companies were, is, that's lab rats. Yeah, we haven't seen that definitively in humans.
Do they put it in food?
Oh, it's in food.
Red
Absolutely.
velvet?
I mean, it's in everything that's pretty much that looks cherry red. It's in there. I mean, number 3. Yeah. Look it up. Look up here. Do a little
cherry Coke.
Do a little ingredient search for cherry Coke, and see if it contains red dye number 3. And now I the artificial stuff. In fact, I was at the store the other day, and there was a yogurt there, and I was thinking, maybe I'll get this yogurt. I look at the ingredients. It's just become a habit for me. And one of the things they have in the ingredients for yogurt, gelatin. The heck you need gelatin in yogurt for? It doesn't need to gel.
You mean Jell-O?
Well, gelatin. Yeah, it does the same thing that it does for Jell-O. But Jell-O is, it's wobbly but firm. Yogurt, what do you need gelatin in that for? Anyway, I guess it's a stabilizer of some sort. Maybe they use less milk that way.
It says it's got carbonated water.
Okay.
Caramel coloring.
Caramel.
Phosphoric acid.
Yep, that's good stuff.
Aspartame.
Yeah. So you got the diet.
Potassium. No, I did not get it. Well.
Oh, okay.
That was not the goal.
Oh, okay.
Potassium benzoate, natural flavor.
That could be beaver anus, by the way.
Acusulum potassium.
Okay, more salt.
That's what that is, huh?
Potassium. I mean,
it's
one of the components. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I don't know. I'm not a chemist, but I play one on the radio.
You're pretty close to one.
No, thank you. I watch Breaking Bad sometimes. Learn a lot,
Was he dying of something? Was that the premise?
Yeah,
of the show?
The premise of the show was he was a school teacher, and he was a very smart school teacher because he came from some other company. But anyway, and he had cancer, and he wanted to care for his family, so he decided to become a drug manufacturer. Made all kinds of bad choices, but it's still a fun show. All right, it's 7:58. Thanks for joining us on the video live stream. We got to get back to the radio waves here in just a moment. Teresa, have a great weekend. Everyone else, have a great weekend as well. Thank you for joining us on the video live stream. We appreciate you. We count on you. So give us your feedback. If you ever have anything you want us to visit on the show, let me know through email or right here on the comments. All right, let's get back to the show. It's WSJM.
94.9 WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph. Depend on us. The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And don't forget the 18th annual Lions Club basketball tournament is coming up tomorrow at St. Joseph High School. It's to benefit Camp Leo. Bret Witkowski, Chuck Haidt, Sheriff Chuck Haidt, Barron County, there, and the Lions Club of Southwest Michigan. You're putting St. Joseph, you're putting it on, and it's going to be starting at 8 o'clock tomorrow. The doors open 9 o'clock. Admission only $5 at the door. If you have more questions, check out Facebook. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel has officially agreed to the